said it'll be his treat.
I pay money to see that.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin.
I
only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
I promise I'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, all right, but just one meal and make it the cheapest.
He and Ashton will get along famously with that department. On a different front, the offer of free dinner does sound enticing, however, half-heartedly given as it is. Mostly because Kyler has wisely put on her puppy eyes, and by the second, I find all my choices slipping away from me.
See, Miss Pink? It'll be fun.
Yay.
You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Oh, joy.
Oh, I lie.
My mobile buzzes from my pocket, cutting me mid-silence for a second. I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing the gadget out, I wave my hand at him and excuse myself. A disgruntled expression is on Luke's face before I turn away. I'd be lying if I said it didn't amuse me. He's as eager to be done with this as I am, but what can I do? Checking in, a message from Ashton shows up. Hey Becca, I'll be around Solemnwell this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place after. See ya. Oh, just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. From the way it's phrased, it sounds to be the latter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that boundary. Not that Isabella's ever going to let him leave the building unscathed. If he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man, I cringe every time. I cringe to imagine what she'll do to him. Sigh, I slip the gadget back to my pocket. But looking up, I see Luke's utter impatience on his face. And now I face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting. And knowing the kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. His denials aside, it's easy to tell when he's really fond of Kylie from his actions. Alone. I kinda hate to ruin that.
Well, Daisy, we're waiting here.
On the other hand, there's Ash. His message doesn't clearly imply he's going to wait or he's expecting me to be there. But there are matters I hope to discuss with him in person, to put it simply. Housewarming party matters. With inviting Isabella out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Although the former has already made it clear he'll be busy this week, and well, Ashton has been my first choice from the start. Even if he detests attending gatherings like this, it's company that counts. We can be miserable together. But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them, and it's very likely his answer will be a flat no. I'd rather not hear that. If by some miracle he agrees to it, he'll probably be sulking the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that. Still, let's save just in case. Though when you look closely at it, it isn't such a difficult thing. Oh wait, hold on. For the foremost, no matter where I look at this, it is inappropriate to some degree, disregarding Luke's honest intentions. I've only known the man for a total of 2 days, including today. If I'm going to be thoroughly specific, I'll give it a total. I'll give it around total of 10 hours. By all means, that's not enough to reason with me, for me. By all means, that it's not enough reason for me to join them for dinner. Even when he says Kylie's the one who requested it, right? To other people, it wouldn't appear as innocent as he makes it out to be. And if there's one ugly thing about this city, it's this place penchant of inane gossip. One little spark, it'll spread like wildfire. Who knows how far it'll go, how many ears it'll reach. What if Ashton hears about it? I'd rather not think about the consequences to that. I've got enough on my plate as is. Being the century of a rumor might mill along with this man in whatever form it takes. Sends an unpleasant chill down my spine. My answer must have already showed in my face, as Kylie's immediate smile dissolves into a pout.
You're not gonna join us, are you?
Maybe next time. I mean, look.
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'd love to, but I have other things to do. Another time, maybe? A friend just texted me about something urgent, and he wants to meet tonight.
Just say it's a date, Daisy. A little rugrat will understand. She's not an infant. No need for blatant lies.
Why do you keep calling her a rugrat? Heat instantly crawls up my face at his baseless insinuations. Oh, what I would have given for another chance to put on a dent on his skull.
What even gave you that idea? And even if it is, why do you care? Stop sticking your nose in other people's affairs.
Right? I hate when people are nosy about. I hate when people do that shit, bro.
Oh, your face says it all, woman. You think I won't recognize those longing looks?
There isn't a look, you There isn't a look, all right?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Daisy.
You already have a story written inside that head of yours, don't you?
Oh, please. It's not that interesting.
Of course it's not.
The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair. Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again.
Yeah.
Deal?
Deal. Have fun with your date, Miss Pink.
Luke's already leading the child away before I can correct her. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, he doesn't miss the chance to shoot me another one of those infuriating winks. Does he really think women enjoy those? I'd sue him for harassment if I can. Although, I must admit, the two of them walking together hand in hand is an endearing sight in itself. It's something to mull over, along with every other confusing and frustrating thing about this guy. Some of the time, though, Ashton's waiting. His car's headlights must have been left turned on, illuminating the otherwise empty parking lot. If it's like that, this will probably be a quick visit. Although our landlady will probably have a few hundred words to say about this before letting it go. Not many in this complex own a vehicle, anyway, to warrant the space frequent use owning to this area's proximity to downtown Luxborn. No one is going to be disturbed if one car stays parked with its lights on for a few minutes. Right now, though, it serves as a pleasant company while I idle my own car, thumping the invitation's fine print, flipping it over and over until the motions become familiar enough. What should I say? How should I say it? There's a very high chance he'll say no, but off the chance he'll accept, what should I do? Fears, doubts, questions I haven't asked before, and more often than not, the anxiety is because of him. 17 years ago, I've been in the same position, a different letter in hand. Somehow nothing has changed. Perhaps if he noticed how I've always felt about him years ago, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Honestly, he'll manage. Honestly, he managed to ace out. Honestly, he managed to ace those exams at school without even lifting a finger. And he couldn't figure out. And he couldn't figure this out.
How dense can he get?
But I can't very well wait for another 2 decades for just for someone as merely as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going to be a date. Although, frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, that's a wish best reserved for some point. I won't get anywhere if I just keep thinking about the what ifs. Gathering all my thoughts and courage, I step out of my car and gingerly make my way upstairs, invitation in hand. Ever since the incident 3 days ago, there's a strange air permeating the atmosphere. Yeah. Wait. But the sort that slowly trickles through you until the burden of it finally bogs you down and with some kind of disquiet. The days since have been uneasy, and Isabella's absence from her flat does not help settles it. Every day coming home feels like an uphill battle in itself. Maybe you spent wherever you're supposed to leave. You're supposed to be getting some rest. Is Zachary experiencing the same thing? I certainly am. The same weary slump is also on Ashton's shoulders once I catch a glimpse of him. He's leaning casually on the rails, his back against the metal surface while reading through a bunch of papers. Each one appears more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. He'll probably keep a head back to present after this, if he's not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of a shut-eye. No rest for the wicked, but no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses anyway to look up from his work. The moment he hears my treads, he raises a hand in greeting as a small smile spreads across his lips. Exhausted as I am, I can't help but return it to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, neither an answer nor a vague hint, before he turns his attention back to the papers. For a passing second, I thought he'd ignore or evade the question like every single time I've asked. But then he shuffles the document back to a binder and sets it aside with a huff. It sounds more fatigued than I've ever heard from him recently. Either way, it's simply too many things to keep him busy at once. Or is the investigation going too well? Maybe both.
Just work.
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
In a way, I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi. Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley, maybe I will.
Shirley? Who's Shirley?
You and your bloody car.
Oh. The first time I've heard the name, I did a double take. From the way he put it, it was as if he was talking about some woman he met somewhere surprisingly got along with and grown fond of. Never mind how impossible that is, knowing his lack of interest for people outside of our small circle. Honestly, it sent an urge of panic in me. It lasted for days, until he proudly introduced me to his new car. I mean, look. You give your car names, that's interesting. I mean, look. I think it's kind of funny how people name their cars. His car.
Hey, it's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Quick, to the end. Nothing unexpected, but immediately. I hope he'll stay for a few minutes. Suddenly, asking him to accompany me to some housewarming party is stating to turn into a bad idea. If he can't be bothered to spare a second of his time with his friends, what more if he has to come for some hours, stand some hours in a room full of strangers?
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His words trail off, cut mid-sentence on purpose, leaving it for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eyes shift momentarily towards the door closest to us, Isabella's unit, eerily quiet now in her absence. The instant his lips curved into a small frown, his shoulders tense. All I know work is far from his reasons for being here. Being too aware of that idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Every single moment, he affords her attention, and he can never seem to spare others. While it is a worry better left for a different situation, it twinges the heart nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things. It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way.
Red tape?
It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream of an unspoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he tries to hide it, especially in front of someone he has known for years.
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either.
That is kind of odd.
Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Ashton squeezes my shoulder, light as he can, before stepping away and heading straight for the stairs. His way of offering comfort in the middle of this little mess we found ourselves in. But amidst all this, a tiny voice in the back of my head nudges at a memory, something I've forgotten, and the reason why I've chosen to return home early. He's made it 4 steps in when realization kicks in, and the awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic rears before proper words can form, or I can think about the situation. Not a second sooner, I'm calling after him.
Ashton, wait!
He halts, 1 foot already down another step, when he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
Of all times, it is in this moment when I faltered the adrenaline from earliest panic suddenly recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I prepared to say will take form. I'm caught between simply forgetting this or just blurting it out to him while hoping for the best. There's nothing wrong with trying, I suppose. I'm not going to lose anything if he says no. Which frankly has a very high chance of happening than the opposite. Though the thought doesn't prevent heat from crawling up my face and send my heart racing. It's better to get this over with before my throat closes up and I lose my nerve.
Tomorrow afternoon. Do you have time?
A small frown is already on his face. I already see where this is going and what he's thinking from that alone. Yet, for some mullish reason, I continue. Hanging on to that tiny glimmer of hope he'll say yes if I present an argument good enough for him.
That depends. Why?
Well, you see, someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I thought you might want to...
Rebecca, I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot. You know that.
I know, it's just... You're one of the few people I can count on with things like this.
That's cool, I appreciate the thought. But really, Zach's a better companion. Gatherings like that just aren't my cup of tea.
That's understandable, because I'm kind of like that too. I mean, family gatherings I can deal with that, but meeting random strangers, no.
It did cross my mind, you know. If he isn't busy with his freelance work, I'd probably ask him too. Actually, you two would have been spared if Isabella was here, but...
Why not just skip out on it? The world's not going to end if one guest doesn't show up.
Trust me, I'd love to. But I promised Mom I'll be there.
Still can't say no, huh?
Like you're any better. Besides, the person who sent this is an old friend of Mom and Dad. If it's important to them, why not? Though, who would have thought, huh? The famous Evans heir used to be tutored by my parents. Apparently, we also met before.
Wait, who?
Evans. Hannah Evans. Well, she's already married. She goes by Hannah Wright now. Remember the couple who bought the mansion Isabella's selling?
The same people?
Yep.
As far as I know. Unless I misread their address, or there's another Hannah Wright in this city that we don't know about.
Let me see that.
Without waiting, he walks closer and takes the invitation out of my hands, gently but with the same force of urgency in his voice. I don't know what he finds in it, but his eyebrows draw together as his eyes scan through the little lines of text printed on the small piece of paper. His hold on the envelope tightens with each pass, and by the time he has finished reading, his mouth has formed into a thin line.
You never mentioned this.
We met just once. Or at least, that's what Mum told me. Honestly, I can't recall anything from it. Otherwise, I would have told you about it.
He hums something inaudible under his breath, all while thumbing a paper, staring at it as if doing so will proffer him answers to an unspoken question in his head. When he gleans nothing from it, he merely folds the envelope back to its form.
All right, I'll go with you.
Wait, seriously?
What?
Damn. It's that easy, huh?
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
My head reels, less from what this implies, more from how easy this all seems for him, how fast this turnaround is. He's already half down the stairs when any semblance of sense returns to me, and I finally can finally string the two words of protest together. Yet all of it dies on my tongue at the small smile he shoots me. He disappears from view seconds later, his footsteps gradually fading as he descends the stairway until I can hear my own shallow breaths and heartbeat, loud, pounding hard against my chest. It is only after I'm standing alone in my room minutes later that sinks in. He hasn't taken the invitation with him. He has taken the invitation with him, but besides that, more than that, he has also accepted mine. Calling this happiness is a complete understatement. For now, looming thoughts of the mansion and that woman lay silent at the back of my head. The night wears on without further incident, despite the greater number of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. This one's uneasy, tight with anticipation, like a string stretched thin, merely waiting for the proper time to snap. Granted, it doesn't make my day any less pleasant, but the edge is there. And as expected, the second I step out of my flat, it comes apart, broken by the voices of two squabbling adults echoing from the floor below. The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame.
What the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
Not a few seconds later, they both ascend the stairs while Ashton pulling Isabella by her wrist. She struggles as she could, she struggles as she should, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing her means having to draw blood as she attempts to pry his hand off with the other, or using unnecessary force to push her away, neither which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means to hurt him physically. She has good sense to realize, at least. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ashton's temper with her own. So on they go, none the wiser to my presence. So they go, none wiser to my presence.
Do you have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
I know. Every single person in Luxburg knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason.
Yeah.
We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will...
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it. It was funny the first time, not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
All right, you two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both of their heads snap up almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces. But this is a necessary interruption. Be right back. All right, I'm back. I accidentally turned off my stopwatch. What can they do? Perhaps people still People still in their units have already taken interest in the commotion, with some taking a peek behind their curtains, while others are bold enough to creak open their doors, if only slightly. If they don't keep it down, pretty soon our landlady will show up. Giving a reprimand from her is the last thing I want to happen. First thing on a Friday morning, even if this is hardly my fault.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
Don't worry, we're done here.
No, we aren't! Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them, and...
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
Your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
That last bit strikes a chord. That last bit strikes a chord, prods strongly at a memory. At that vicious smile already etched deeply in my mind. The image appears clear enough that at the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question.
What do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca! It's not...
It's nothing. If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we? But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse. There's a murderer on the loose, and your co-workers happen to be the victims.
Mary Ann's gone, in case you don't know, so it probably is a curse.
Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time. And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
Agreed. I wasn't chasing after...
Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute? What's this about your coworkers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
Surely in a heartbeat, I'll agree with Ashton. That's how it's always been. Besides having a good point, really, they're the very same ones he'll tell me every time I ask too many questions. But the fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been sensing these past few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe on our own. Something odd has been happening around me, and that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. I'll say just in case I mess up. Damn. Hold on.
But Rebecca's alive. Zach...
Regardless of Isabella's intentions, curse or not, Ashton might have every right to feel miffed. He's gone great lengths to keep his personal life away from his job. Even if he won't say it, he'll fight tooth and nail to keep us safe. And this time, Miss Cooper's death hit close. Too close for someone he cares about.
That's not what I'm trying to get at, Ash.
Then help me talk some sense into her.
I was about to get to that. Isabella, I know you're worried about those people, but you have to understand that what Ashton's doing isn't simple. He's right. You shouldn't even be involving yourself in this kind of stuff, much less doing things on your own.
I went to him, didn't I? First thing in the morning. I asked for his help.
After you went ahead and did some snooping. And now you're planning another one. Can't you see what's wrong with that?
Wait, yeah, that's illegal.
You won't believe me unless I give you proof. You said it yourself. Evidence doesn't lie.
Yeah, but it also doesn't include putting yourself in danger.
Concrete proof, Isabella. Not something based on rumors or stupid urban legends. Trust me, Belle. Any day, I'd gladly help you with anything.
I know that. I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you, before I...
She breathes in, deep, steadying, and in that moment, something falls between her eyes as she looks away.
Sorry. I got ahead of myself, didn't I?
A quiet resolve. The same one I saw in her that night from 3 days ago. But this time, it burns brighter. Even Ashton wavers at its sight when she looks him straight in the eye, gaze unflinching. Gradually, he grips on her wrist. His grip on her wrist loosens.
Belle, all I'm asking you for is to...
Just this once, Ash.
Her voice, though small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise dies around us. A hush descending as if the world is waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
Why, though? She lays a hand on top of his.